Why have you opted for income tax and customs over Indian Forest Service, which is all India service?
Between these two organizations, family and business organization, which organization you felt more comfortable in?
How a fabric or in general fabric indicates cultural diversity.
What do you understand by deglobalization?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Prachi Gupta. I have been born and brought up in Delhi. I have done my BTech in Textile Technology from IIT Delhi, after which I went on to pursue management consulting job in Mumbai for a year and a half. And since 2021, I have been preparing for the civil services examination. This is my fourth attempt and first interview in the civil services. However, I was selected in the Indian Forest Service last year and have taken an extension from the same.
Okay, Prachi, tell me, you are an achiever, passed out from the IIT, joined a private sector, got a good handsome salary, left that, and now you are a member of Indian Forest Service, going to be a member of Indian Forest Service. Tell me one thing, why have you opted for income tax and customs over Indian Forest Service, which is all India service?
Sir, I have, while filling the preferences, I consulted a few seniors as to what all job opportunities are available and the work profile in the Indian Revenue Service. However, I have not made a confirmed decision whether I will be opting for the Indian Revenue Services as of now.
Okay, I got your point. You have worked in the textile industry also as a consultant, as you said. Today, as you know, India and Bangladesh are two very important countries as far as your global textile and garment industry is concerned. We are the major players. Now, due to the political upheavals in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh continues to be number one exporter, isn't it? So, due to the political upheaval in the Bangladesh, how do you think India can wrest that distinction from Bangladesh and become number one exporter?
Sir, yes, since Bangladesh is facing a political and economic turmoil, this presents an opportunity for India to become an exporter. But for that, we need to focus on certain problems that are there in the Indian textile industry. The first major problem is the lack of technology advancement in the sector. So we are still using outdated handloom machines, power looms. That is something which the government is really focusing on via its schemes like the Technology Upgradation Fund scheme. The second thing is, sir, we also need to focus on what the global trends are like. Currently, India is having a majority share of cotton-based fibers in its exports, 60%, whereas in the global scenario, the share of cotton is only 20%. So we need to focus more on man-made fibers, sustainable fibers, which the countries across the world are looking for. And the third thing is venturing into the technical textiles, which government is also rightly doing through its National Technical Textiles Mission.
Okay, you spoke about technical textiles. So, apart from technical textiles, there is a concept of smart textiles also. What are smart textiles?
Sir, I am not aware of the exact definition, but my understanding is that these are textiles which are gaining prominence due to their advanced features. For example, they can sense, for example, if a smart textile is worn, it can sense the temperature of our body, the perspiration, and then can adapt and modify its properties accordingly.
You must be aware of the green fashion and green technologies.
Yes.
What is a green fashion? What is a green technology?
So, green fashion and green technology are basically an attempt in moving towards sustainability. So, in green technologies, we make use of greener fibers and precision chemicals that are used in the manufacturing of textiles. so that the processes are more environment friendly. One thing would also mean that since a lot of water is used in the textile industries, so a greener technology would be identifying processes which can reuse that wastewater within the industry itself. And with respect to greener fashion, it is more about like using sustainable fibers like bamboo fibers, or using the ahimsa silk that is gaining prominence.
That's wonderful. What is the concept of mega textile parks?
Sir, government is promoting these mega textile parks through the PM Mitra scheme. So whereby 7 sites have been selected across India, and an entire ecosystem is being created, right from creation of yarns to fabrics to textile dyeing, finishing. So holistic facilities will be available at one place, and that will help achieving economies of scale for the companies that are setting their units there.
One final question from my side. Our Honorable Prime Minister had said some time back with respect to manufacturing industry that if you go for zero defect, there will be zero effect. What does it mean? Zero defect and zero effect.
Sir, zero defect and zero effect is basically a certification that is available for the MSMEs. So by zero zero effect, we means that our processes are designed in such a way that there is no negative externality on the environment. We are not wasting the resources. And by zero effect, we mean that there is no negative externality on the environment. And by zero defect, we means that our finished products are free from any defects, and they have high an attractive market in the, so we can actually reach out to the consumers and they can be sure that our products are free from any defects.
Thank you very much.
Prachi, I'd like to talk a little bit about family, internal family matters. Between your father and mother, who is more careful, who is more caring rather?
Who is more caring? Sir, I would like to clarify, like caring in what perspective?
In whichever perspective you believe.
Sir, it would be very hard for me to like take a side, because I believe that everything that I have done has been through their care and efforts only. Like my father would take care of each and every bit of my, like both of them would make sure that during this preparation journey, both of them have put in their level best to ensure that all I have to do is just study, right from taking care of my meals and to ensuring whether if I have to travel for my classes, they would drop me to the metro station, and like just doing these small things on a day-to-day basis. Both have been there for me.
Then you worked in another family, extended family, a business organization, a company. In that company, who was more caring?
Sir, I did not get this question.
You worked in a company for 1.5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's also a kind of family organization. So in that larger setup, who was more caring?
Sir, ours was a very small team of 50-60 people in India. So I got the opportunity to work with different levels of people. Based on the projects that I handled, the person that I worked with, who was my immediate senior, was super like accommodative of my problems, also pushed me to work harder to like, let's say if there was some skill that I was lacking with respect to Excel or PowerPoint, then he would provide me the resources that are needed. So I would say that I found that senior to be very caring.
Between these two organizations, family and business organization, which organization you felt more comfortable in?
Sir, it would definitely be my family, who has been very caring towards all of my needs, who has always understood my problems and pushed me to achieve my best potential. So I would put my family above the corporate setup.
Okay. So that means you give second preference to your duties.
Sir, I would like to differ that it is not that I give second preference to my duties, but I, in terms of the caring aspect that we were discussing, my family has been there for me, and in the context of the corporate setup that I was working in.
In case of conflict of time or conflict of interest, a public servant is required to give preference whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, to public interest and ignore its own family interest. Do you think you are mentally prepared to travel that path?
Yes, sir. So, based on my experiences and my learnings, I have understood the way to prioritize different things. I even had the opportunity to work in management consulting, which was a very demanding job. There was an instance when I came back from the office at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yet, throughout my 1.5 years, I made sure that there was not a single day when I went without speaking to my parents. So, even if it's for a minute, I would just speak to them. And amidst all this, I have always been very cautious of taking care of my health as well. Like, I've been exercising regularly for the last 6 years, and even if it's for 15 minutes, a basic walk, but I try to take out that time for myself and for my family, because I very strongly believe that if I am at my best potential, then only I will be able to do my job to the fullest potential, and only then I will be able to serve the public.
My last question. Assume that you have been selected as IPS officer and as superintendent of police or ACP. You are leading, you are working as a team leader. Generally, we look at police officers, particularly the subordinates, having a very bulky body size, maybe because of their unhealthy lifestyle. So, as a team leader, how do you inculcate in them a work-life balance and how to keep healthy?
So, with respect to maintaining a work-life balance, one thing which I would like to promote is having a daily schedule. So, what I personally have been doing since the last 5 years is every morning I have a to-do list, which is a very detailed to-do list, wherein I write down my goals as to how much time each task would take. And within that schedule, I would also put in some time for self-care, be it a walk or an exercise or meditation, which gives us clarity of mind. So that is something which I've personally done and I would like to promote. Sir, additionally, I would like to work-life balance can be achieved through becoming more efficient in your work. So the use of technology is something which can be promoted, so that the processes and the work that we are doing becomes more efficient and we can save time to devote for our mental and physical well-being. With respect to a healthy lifestyle, like I have been doing yoga and walking, so that is something which can be incorporated even in a busy schedule, and these are not very hard to start with. So having a culture wherein where the people in the office are doing these activities together, let's say a yoga session, which the government is also promoting, can be one way forward. And also by incorporating healthier meals. For example, the government is promoting millets, which are also very good for our health. That can also be focused upon.
Fine. Thank you, Prachi.
Prachi. Prachi, be having an expertise in textile, right? Tell me that how a fabric, or in general fabric, indicates cultural diversity.
Ma'am, a fabric can indicate cultural diversity from two different ways. First, in which how it has been prepared, like the backward linkages. If there is a specific fiber which is available in any particular part of the country, and we are utilizing that for preparing a fabric, that would indicate the uniqueness of that particular place. For example, in West Bengal, jute is more prominent. So, a jute fabric would signify that it is coming from the eastern part of the country. And the second part is how the fabric is being the final finishing of the fabric. For example, the printing techniques that are there on the fabric are very different across the country. That is something which can represent the cultural diversity. For example, the tribes of MP have in the Dhar district also, there is a specific tribal print on the border of saris which represents their diversity. Or even the Madhubani paintings on the fabric signify the same.
So it also pertains to the aesthetic aspect, right? So have you taken care of those aspects while you were attiring yourself while coming to the interview?
Yes, ma'am. I did take care of how I'm like wearing the sari and how I'm wearing the suit, and like just having a subtle color since it is a formal setup, I wanted to keep it very subtle. And even the pleating of the dupatta was something which I took care of, or matching the sandal color.
And not about the print or the fabric?
Yes, ma'am. While purchasing the fabric, I did take care that the fabric is inclined, like this has a sort of a depiction of the nature, the trees that are drawn there.
Okay, fine, Prachi. Prachi, you have been selected into forest services also, right? So tell me, how do you see the role of indigenous communities in mitigating the effect of global warming or climate change?
Can I just take a few
Yes,
seconds?
sure.
Ma'am, the first very important way in which they can contribute is
Yeah, go ahead. Shall I change the question?
No. I will
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
answer. Yes. I read about an instance in Odisha where a tribal lady, through the traditional techniques of managing land, for example, collecting indigenous seeds and sowing them, she was able to save a very large part of land, like restore the nutrient capability. So that is something which can be done. They know the ancient seeds, the ancient methodologies that can enhance the carbon sequestration in the soil and also enhance its productive capability. Another important thing which adds to global warming is the shifting cultivation, which like shifting cultivation is a practice which is mainly practiced by the indigenous communities. So if we make them aware of how it is deteriorating the air health, that can also be looked into.
Okay, my final question to you. Just give me 2 laws which actually empowers a woman.
Ma'am, the first one is the Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act, which creates an ecosystem which is
Fine.
The second one is the Domestic Violence Act 2005, wherein again safeguarding the well-being of a woman.
Good.
Prachi, you have been selected as Forest Services Officer, right? Tell us about the most, important report released by Ministry of Forest and Environment regarding state of forest in India.
So recently the Indian State of Forest report was released.
Right.
It's a biennial survey which is conducted by the Forest Survey of India. And the 18th edition was released last month.
18th edition. And which year's report is this?
Sir, it's from the time period 2021 to 2023.
Correct. There are certain concerns that has been shown by various quarters related to some of the data, data which is coming out of this report. Can you identify a few? Overall percentage
Yes,
has increased, so that is good. But still there are certain concern that has been raised.
Yes, sir. One major concern that I can recall right now is that the percentage of very dense forests in India is decreasing. However, the trees outside forests are increasing.
Right.
So
why it is a matter of concern, by the way?
Sir, very dense forests are generally, they have a whole biodiversity protection ecosystem. And when we are counting the less dense forests or trees outside forests, they might indicate that the plantation related afforestation is growing fast, which might not necessarily be very good for the soil health. So
right. One of our target related to environmental promise is that we will create a kind of carbon sink also, huge carbon sink. What is the difference between the potential of creation of carbon sink between the dense forest and these plantation trees? After all, they both are trees. Is there any difference between the two?
Yes, sir. Sir, the dense forests have a higher carbon sequestration capacity, like they can act as a better carbon sink. And the plantation forests are generally very fast growing trees. So even though they might seem to absorb carbon in the shorter run, but when we utilize them for our industries, then again like the purpose remains unfulfilled.
Right. So as a student of chemistry also, Can you tell us about the chemistry of carbon sequestration? How the carbon changes its form?
Sir, I'll have to go back and
Yeah.
read that again.
No issues. You have been a member of Cultural Council of this IIT Delhi, right? Student representative of
Yes,
Cultural
sir.
Council, right? In IITs, we have seen a major issue is maintaining diversity, but at the same time keeping its quality intact. So, as a representative of Cultural Council, give us some kind of ideas through which we can aim both the ends.
So just a clarification, I was a representative of the Student Affairs Council, not the Cultural House.
Oh, sorry.
But
Yeah. So, even in that context, the question remains relevant.
Yes, sir.
So, please answer it.
Just reiterating that we need to maintain the diversity of representation as well as the standard that the IITs must live up to.
So, do you have any idea how we can maintain both, I mean, the ends? Maintaining diversity without compromising on quality?
Yes, sir. I'll just take a minute to think for. So the first thing that I can think of is having a very comprehensive survey as to what people think that their strengths are. So people do come from a variety of backgrounds, and we can just seek from them what things that they have been involved in, and based on that data we can do a grouping of people. Like for example, if certain people have excellent skills in flute playing, then we can just group them together and also hire instructors to enhance their capabilities in the first 2 years, let's say, and subsequently they can be made to take part in any inter-IIT or in cultural events.
Fine, that's fine, Prachi. Thank you.
Prachi, following certain executive and judicial interventions, the women were given permanent commissions and command roles in the Indian Armed Forces. However, very recently, a very senior army officer has submitted a report highlighting that there have been certain inconsistencies with regards to certain women officers, and the units which are under the command of such officers have higher levels of stress, and the subordinates often complain that these women officers lack empathy, they have mundane ego issues, they have a tendency to complain too much. So how do you react to this entire scenario?
Sir, I believe that this issue needs to be looked into very carefully. Firstly, we need to figure out the reasons why the subordinates are having such an opinion of their lady officers. For that, I believe that having a committee would be the first step that we should go forward with. And the representation in the committee should also ensure that the trust is gained from both the parties, like the subordinates and the officers. And I, being a woman myself, I do understand that there might have been difficulties for women officers, but just outrightly saying that let's say their frustration is coming out on seniors, or the work-life balance is not being able to be managed well, we first need to look into the root cause of that issue. Whether the working hours are in line with what their expectations were, or whether the processes and the technology use is sufficient so that they are efficient enough in their work.
Okay, point taken, Prachi. Prachi, what do you understand by deglobalization?
Sir, globalization was the process of increasing interconnectedness of the world. Deglobalization is a reverse phenomena where countries are limiting their interactions with the world in terms of the trade of goods, services, or even the movement.
So, following the success that followed the wave of globalization, why do you think some of the major global powers are resorting to deglobalization? That is, they are cutting off their ties from the external world.
Sir, I can think of few major reasons for the same. The first one is that the global challenges are different right now. For example, we are in a world of Russia-Ukraine conflict or Israel-Palestine issue. So there are supply chain disruptions at the moment, and countries want to secure their entire ecosystems. So that is why instead of increasing connectedness with the world. They are trying to secure their interests. The second thing is also a tendency to create hegemony in the world. So they want that their growth should not. So they should be the more influential power, and by only aligning with, let's say, their few friends, they are cutting off from the
So
rest
maybe
of the world.
they want to create parallel blocks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prachi, you have chemistry as your optional subject. Okay. So, although psychology is the key determinant in interpersonal relationships, it is very commonly said that to have a stable relationship, be it friendship or something else, it is very important to have a good chemistry. Why such a change of thought?
Sir, I'm not aware of the scientific reason, but I believe that when two people interact, it's also a play of the flow of different chemicals in the body and the biochemical reactions that occur within the body. And that is why we say like the chemistry between two people is very important.
Okay, so is it safe to conclude that the manifestation that we see in the form of psychological attributes maybe has its sources or beginning at the chemical level?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Let me give you a hypothetical situation. Today you are a bachelor, suppose tomorrow you get married to one of your colleagues and you happen to be posted at the same place, leading a good life, happy life. Your parents, meanwhile, they express their desire to stay with you and spend the rest of their life with you only. When you discuss with your spouse, he has his reservations. He says that that is not acceptable to me. If they want any financial assistance, let's provide that assistance to them. If they want any kind of other help, or you keep on going and coming, but under no circumstances they would stay with us. How are you going to deal with the situation?
Sir, it definitely is a tricky situation, and firstly, I would like to speak to both my husband and my family members as to what is actually going on in their minds. While speaking to my husband, I would like to understand his concerns, the point of view that he is coming from, whether he feels like a disconnect from my parents, or whether there are some privacy apprehensions, or whatever that is. I would like to figure out the reason for the same. And secondly, I would also like to speak to my parents and understand their expectations, since it would also, I am assuming that currently my parents reside in a different city than where I am posted. So I would also like to understand if it is okay for them to, at this point of age, if it is okay for them to deal with such a big change. And if they really want to stay with me, I would understand their love and care for me, and then I would like to, just through open and clear communication, I would like to just sort it out within the family, like with my husband. But if in the worst case scenario, if my husband is still adamant that he would not feel okay with my parents residing in the same house, then it might be possible that I might think of some place which is closer to my home, where my parents can come and where like we can meet more frequently. So in that way, like the city challenge would also be resolved.
Okay, thank you very much, Prachi. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Sit down, Prachi. When is your interview, Prachi? 28th January. Okay. Which attempt is this?
Fourth attempt.
And
First interview.
Okay. When did you get selected in the Forest Service? Last year?
Yes, sir.
Last year. What was your marks in the personality test?
195 marks.
Out of 300?
300.
Is it considered to be good marks or average?
Average marks.
Average.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you reflect why you couldn't get better marks?
Yes, sir. Sir, like there were, I think, two major reasons. The first one was that some parts of the questions on textile, I was not able to answer them 2-3 questions straight in a row.
But then normally what happens when you fail to get very good, because you are capable of getting very good marks, which is why I asked you this question. You have all the qualities, you are already part of the bureaucracy, but you have all the qualities of becoming a very successful civil servant, no doubt in our mind. Only thing is what happens at times in your exuberance or in your excitement to explain things and all that, you tend to get into the area of conjectures, make guesses. So conjectures and guesses, little realizing that your statement is based on the guesswork. So that gives a very negative connotation, because this is the test of a personality. Knowledge has already been tested. You are called in person to see whether what are the aspects of a personality. The first and foremost quality of a prospective civil servant is he or she being a man of or a person of integrity. So your honesty of purpose has to be there in all your statements. That is number one. So I don't know what happened that in your last interview, but make a conscious effort that under no circumstances you give any answers based on the guesswork. Either you know or you don't know. If you don't know, admit candidly that I am not aware. Matter ends there. Or when you know, you are very logical in your exposition. There is no problem. Your communication skill is very good. Expressions are very good. Clarity is there in your language. So you could make a very good impact on the board. So all those qualities are there. But only thing is you have to be conscious of the fact that you don't stray into that area. That is number one. Number two, on issues, contentious issues like one hypothetical question I asked you, you gave a balanced. Always try to give a very balanced view. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't appear to be self-opinionated. Okay, that is number two. It's very important, because you are going to be a part of the system. You have to listen to both the sides of argument, weigh pros and cons of alternatives before taking a decision, isn't it? So you are not expected to rush through anything. So mental balance, keep your head on your shoulder and give after collecting your thoughts, give very balanced views. We did not cover, due to paucity of time, we did not cover many aspects which you know that what questions will be asked, from which area it will be asked, very difficult for us to tell you. But as because you are a product of IIT, you have done your textile course in textile engineering, and you have kept chemistry as your optional paper, expect some questions related to textile industry, related to chemistry, whatever new things are happening in the field of chemistry and textile industry, and what the government of the day has been doing to encourage and to promote. So different schemes and different areas of innovation, you should be fully aware. That is number one. Number two, you are a girl from Delhi. Delhi has its own share of problems. You must be aware of all those problems. So prepare a brief on all that. Be it the issue of slum, be it issue of your AQI pollution, be it issue of landfills, be it issue of your women's security, or your even traffic congestion. These are 4 or 5 major areas of concern for Delhi, and on the top of that, center-state issues. That is very important. So what are the contentious issues between the center and the state? Last 1 or 2 years developments, just go through it. So if your discussion is confined to Delhi, then I think some time will be spent on that. So that is one. A certain question will be there that you are already a selected candidate. Why have you opted for certain central services, and why have you opted out certain other central services? So your answer was very good, that I opted for this thing, but I'll take a call. So that kind of this thing, but that question still be relevant. Then if we have to take a call, then why have we chosen only revenue service? Why not audit service? Audit and accounts is equally a very good service. Why don't you want to make a career in audit and accounts? That kind of unexpected questions may be asked. So prepare yourself for that. Then again, what is your view of women empowerment? What are the schemes launched by the government for women empowerment? What do you mean by women-led development and all that? What are the what are the schemes by which, or what are the initiatives taken by women by which you can justify that India is witnessing women-led development and all that, then women's reservation and all that, Panchayati Raj institutions, all those things may become relevant for you. Have you ever worked in rural area, by the way? Have you spent time in rural India?
Sir, my not proper rural India, but my father has been born and brought up in Bulandshahr, and there's a village Malagarh where we used to go in our childhood. So I've been to that part, and very selectively only.
That somebody may think of that this girl has spent her lifetime in Delhi and she has gone to Pune. Pune you have worked, na? Mumbai, sorry, gone to Mumbai and all that. She hardly knows what India is. Read about rural India, what exactly, you may not be having first-hand experience of spending time, but you know what rural India is. Otherwise, a wonderful candidate, absolutely a wonderful candidate, and you are capable of getting very good marks. And I don't know how you have done in your mains examination, you have done really well in your mains. Interview will not be a problem, you will be getting good marks in the personality test, and maybe you have succeeded in forest service, you may succeed in the civil services also. For all my personal our gut is that you should be in the list of successful candidates. So all the best to you. Just one final statement from my side: no guesswork. Ethical values are very important for a civil servant. So don't ever make any compromise with ethical values. All the best from our side. If we have any still questions to ask, feel free to ask.
I think I'm.
Chalo, all the best. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.